What's up, everybody? I'm Brandon. You're watching ADHD Game Dev Channel. How's it going, Internet? What is up, everybody? Good to see you. I am in a Don't Hassle Me Monday Hawaiian shirt. This one's actually got Darth Vader with crossed lightsabers. How cool is that? Okay, let's talk Godot. I made this switch. I said, I'm using Godot now. I had tried to learn last year, and it kind of, just me being who I am, I didn't make that much progress. But I got back to it in earnest in January, and I really launched into my current project, Tiny the Last Wayfinder, which you can and should wish list on Steam today. Thank you. And I got working on that one in March. So I've only been using this program just like, half the year here. And man, I'm going to be real with you, I've been fanboying pretty hard. True story. Because I've been spending, it was 10 years about that I worked learning game dev and was using GameMaker. Great program, no shade on GameMaker. But I went from only being able to do a 2D pixel art type thing, and I was coding everything, to I've got a full 3D world that I've managed to put together. All right, and I have shifted my mindset in a really big way on this one into being more of a game director than trying to make every single element. So it's partly me, but a big part of it also owes to the engine itself. And what I have been appreciating about it, aside from enabling my just dramatically rapid progress in it, is that it is just fun to work with. It is lightweight. It is quick. It is easy. There's this, to me, when there's a bigger engine, take Unity, for example. No, take it. I'm kidding. I'm being salty already. I'm trying to be, don't hassle me today. It got the Hawaiian shirt on. But when you have a bigger engine like that, and you know how it is, you get into Unity and it's like, hi, welcome, login. Oh, lost your login. Check your email. Oh my God. Check your email, send us the code, go back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's an update. We're going to totally kill your project if you run this update. But we're going to flash this warning to say you have to update every time you open it anyway. Go ahead and grab yourself a cup of coffee while you open your project, okay? I already have my coffee. In Godot, my dudes, listen, it downloads so fast, it installs so fast, it runs so fast. I'm using a Lenovo ThinkPad is my computer that I do my dev work on. It's not a very fast computer. Mid-low, and it works great. It works great. I'm working great on Godot, making a full 3D game, running Blender, doing all the stuff that I need to. It's fine. Even Blender might get some slowdowns, but Godot, running a video game, is running fast, and I absolutely love that. I love how light, I love how fast it's going. So that's been terrific. And I already implied it, but I didn't say it. But the fact that I could go from being locked in to in a GameMaker world, it is great for being a 2D engine, but it doesn't have the option to be a 3D engine, and Godot could do both. Okay, what I loved about it is that even doing the 2D stuff, Godot was throwing down just basic, simple, should have been included out of the box concepts in the first place, like Y sorting on your 2D to where you can get that fake top down to where things pop out. You look at my game Dungeonesque, which is available on itch.io. I have a link on my channel, but fun game. That was my last game that I really completed and worked through and made a fully realized game in GameMaker. And it's a big pain to get things to sort exactly the way you want them to. Like if you walk past a chest, do you pop up? Anyway, that's just a button click in Godot. Y sort. And manually writing input mapping for button controls that just work in Godot and camera controls. You go into Godot and it just works. You have any idea how much time I've spent writing code for that stuff? I mean, like I told you, I've tried to be shifting my mindset and shifting my role into more of a games director instead of focusing exclusively on being the coder of the game and the artist of the game. I've tried to just assemble elements and try to change that view. And I think, I wanted to do a separate video on this, but I think it's part of the same concept because I feel like Godot enables me to do that. Godot as an engine enables me to do that, okay? And I can put all these different elements together, and it is being a nice mixing bowl in a way that Unity was being slow and difficult trying to do that. And part of that is because, like I said, it's slow to start, slow to run. It's also it's just a pain in the butt the way it works. Now, GameMaker will let you kind of get away with murder when it comes to things like variables. Like everything is a public variable. I could address object player dot my speed from any other I say script. It doesn't. Any other object could run the code and address that. Whereas in Unity, you're going to have to very specifically open up a public script, or you're going to have to make a specific call out to say that I want to make a version of this that's public or addressable by another script, and then have the other script go and pick it up. It's like, it's tedious. It's so tedious going through all these scripts, and then you have to leave Microsoft Visual Studio and go back over to the Unity engine and now make those connections manually. Oh, it's so fast to do that in Godot. The concepts are very similar, so I think that Godot feels like, and the reason I'm talking about the two engines is that Godot feels like that middle ground between those two engines to me. And that's because I've used them both. But seriously, it does have a lot of middle ground overlap. It's got that idea of the way you're going to make those connections between scripts and having to tie in when I say area 3D, I mean this area 3D. But it's so easy in Godot because you literally just graphically drag and click into your script and it creates a connection. And the idea of signals is in there where I still don't quite get it. Signals. But you can have it make an announcement to the world, hey, I finished loading whatever, and any other script that's out there can listen for that signal. It probably isn't that revolutionary to me because I didn't spend enough time in Unity to be annoyed, and I was used to GameMaker where everything was very public, very, very open, probably to a fault. But the other cool thing that I've been loving in Godot is going to be the nodes system. Oh, it's a game changer. It blew my mind. It really blew my mind. It blew my mind so much because I'm coming over in a world that is structured. It's very rigid. It's very organized. You have to be very linear in your thought process in GameMaker. And when I come into Godot, it feels like they just like, hey, we're going to take off the security fence and you could just go anywhere, is what it feels like. It's weird to talk about a game engine like what it feels like, but that's what it feels like. It's like this idea of a scene. Like it uses these vague terms, and it was weird for me to get into it. Vague catch-all terms like a scene. What's a scene? A scene is a level, of course, right? I know that. A scene is a level. Yeah, it's not, though, because in Godot universe, a scene is also what Unity would call a prefab. A scene is also a standalone block of something because your level is also a scene, and the objects in the level are a scene. They're all scenes. So I'm like, wait. Now that's the kind of thing that sort of was grinding my gears, and I'm used to being rigid. I'm used to being linear. I'm used to being very organized and structured. And then Godot was like, hey man, don't hassle me. Don't hassle me. I'm in my Hawaiian shirt. But when you start working with it more, you start to realize why they do that is because its entire logic, its entire concept, the whole way the engine thinks is in that loose and free kind of way. So I feel like this is kind of trippy, but I think it's true. I feel like you could take a character controller script and drop it on your level and move your level around with a controller. That's why this idea of nodes is so powerful, is because all of the nodes that you put together is kind of a tree structure, and any of them can have a parent and a child kind of relationship and all this dependency, and then you can pack it all up into a scene and have it all as one modular piece. You can take a scene and drop it into another scene and have a parent-child relationship with two different scenes, and then you can take a script and drop it on either of them and have a totally uniquely behaving version of it. You could take a basic, say, enemy and have it all structured out, but don't put a brain on it because the script is going to be added later on if you wanted to. So you have a basic enemy type 1, 2, and 3 with no logic until you drop a script onto each one. Or you could do it, any way that pops into your head that makes sense for you to build out your world because it is so loose and free, because it is so flexible. So that's one of the things that's been just hard for me to get my head around. And once I started to catch on to that, I was like, Wow, I am feeling like I just took off the training wheels. I didn't even realize I had on training wheels, and now I'm just going. And so that's why it has enabled me to make really fast progress, and to the game that I'm making now is like night and day from what I was making before. And if you didn't have a chance to wishlist Tiny the Last Wayfinder on Steam yet, this is a great time to go and at least click on it and look at it. Even if you don't want to buy it later on, you're not sure, at least please give me a wish list so that Steam will get that into its algorithm brain to know that people out there like solo games and indie games and smaller, more compact games. It doesn't have to be Heroes Duty 12. So that would really be a great thing if you would at least click it and look at it, please. Thank you. But it's been a really great experience, and I do owe a lot of it to the engine itself. That I think my background experience in understanding code and logic has been helpful. Because coding logic is going to be coding logic no matter where you go. And the cool thing about being exposed to different coding languages is that you start to recognize the similarities in all the languages. They're going to wind up doing a lot of the same things and needing to do a lot of the same things. Godot has a lot of helpful built-in functions. Like at the end of setting up all of your player control, you could just write a line called move and slide, and that's like a catch-all Godot phrase. It means go ahead and just apply all the cool physics that need to be added. Oh man, it was such a pain to do that kind of stuff. If you were to put in a character body, a rigid body or a character body, 3D, the kind of thing that you would do in Unity, Godot's node system is already pre-built with a concept of being a video game right out the bat. Because a node, instead of just being a solitary building block that is waiting for something to be attached to it, can already have behaviors baked into the engine. So you could start out with a node that is a moving platform type of a node, an animatable body, or you could get one that's just meant to be a solid box, or you could get one that's supposed to be used for a character body, and you could start building on a structure of a node that's already pre-designed to be something for you. And it just takes you this hop, skip, and a jump further into making what you want, to where in a sense it starts to be almost like, I don't want to oversell this, but almost like putting together Lego pieces, click, 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 node here, node here, node here. And that's been really cool. The one thing I think that I've been watching out for, if I had a couple of warnings, is that the inspector window on the side, you have to kind of drill through a lot and look through. And I know I'm not putting up a lot of graphics and visuals here. You can check out the engines. This is not a full tutorial. I'm talking. We're having a coffee talk. We're doing coffee. We're talking. And somebody drank all mine. In the inspector window, there are a lot of drop downs that you kind of have to drill through, and even sub menus you kind of have to click through. It doesn't go too deep. It's not as bad as some other software at Unity, but it is something that you have to take some time to get used to. The idea in GameMaker is that you've got all these different trigger points in your object, like on create, on step event, on end step, on destroy, stuff like that. And you could apply different bits of code to the object. Because we're using scripts that are a standalone script that get attached somewhere, they have to get attached to a particular node, and each node can only hold one script at a time. So you have to think in a logical fashion, the parent-child kind of structure, because you could put a script deeper down your tree or up on the top level, which is where it normally goes. But after you do that, it's only got the one script. So that could be something that takes a little getting used to in your thoughts, trying to understand how do I structure that. So, but that doesn't sound that crazy to me. I'm sure there's a few other areas where it might be weaker. Some people prefer to have the standalone engine for coding of Microsoft Visual Studio. I don't see any reason why you couldn't use that with Godot. I've used an external engine when I was goofing around with some other tool, and it was able to edit my scripts in an external engine. So I think you could do that too. Godot also supports a couple different coding languages, but its own internal GD script is its own native language. But I believe C# is the other one that's on deck. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I believe it's C#. But you could look that up really easily and find the language that you're more familiar with. But its own language, GD script, is going to be the most supported, the most documented, the most talked about. So. Anyway, I also loved the animation player. That was the animation player. I have been using and abusing the animation player to do stuff. It's so freaking cool. You can animate just about any property. It started to remind me in a sense of After Effects, because you can animate any property in After Effects. When you get to the animation player, most everything can be animated. Like, I was using the animation player, obviously, on character animations and different pose animations. The run, the walk, the crouch, stuff like that could be an animation. But I could also set up, like I did, my sun object, the main directional light. I set up its angle to sweep the world, and its power was also animatable, and its color was also animatable. You'll never guess what I did with that. I was able to trigger sunrise light at a particular angle, and then go to sunset light and daylight and different power levels throughout the day. And I could just put it onto an animation player and just say, okay, go, and run that for a 10-minute loop. 10 minutes and loop the whole thing. Ooh, so cool, so easy, so fun to work with. Really not a problem at all. I went round and round and round trying with scripts to make that work. But once I realized that the animation player could do a lot more than just animate left and right, I was a happy game developer. And that's really, really neat. And then you have its brother, the animation tree, enabling you to connect different animation states together so that they can blend together. There's so much more I haven't even gotten into. Like, you can use the animation tree for a state machine kind of thing. Yes. And the reason it's all fun is because the engine is there to help you make a game. I really hope you could pick that up on the microphone. As soon as I said engine, someone started a car outside. Interactive video. But anyway, I've been having a great time. The TLDR on this whole video is it's been a great experience. It's been a lot of fun. I hope that you'll check it out. It's free to use. It's free to get into. I'm just sharing with you my personal experiences. I don't know. That was the other caveat. I don't know that Godot would be a great pick for big teams or interaction like that. I'm just a solo developer, so I'm super happy with it. I don't know about the deep end power stuff when you get into more deep concepts and complexities like team interactions, or if you want to do virtual reality or something. I couldn't answer you on that. But from my standpoint and from my background, having used a couple different engines, spent years working in Game Maker, and I messed around for a while doing projects in Unity, and I poked around long enough at Unreal to know that it was too big to even run on my computer. So to be able to come back to Godot, and it's just there going, hi, let's make video games. And I'm able to focus on just making a video game. That's why I emphasize that idea of my switching seats and being more of a game director instead of being down in the weeds on every single step. And I think that a lot of that is because the engine is working so well, and it's helping me to do what I want to do. So for me, it's a really good fit. But that's been my experience so far, and I'm still learning, but I'm absolutely over the moon. Maybe I'm in a honeymoon period, and I haven't figured out why I should hate it yet, but I hope that doesn't happen. I hope I'll continue to have fun and love it, and I hope that you will wish list Tiny the Last Wayfinder on Steam, or at least go check it out for me. Click it, lick it, stick it, whatever it is one does. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sticking through the video. I know I ramble. I hope that you will be awesome today. Bye, everybody.